Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about double dimensional array. We are going to see what is a double dimensional array and how to declare an double dimensional array and what are the memory representation of double dimensional array and how to input data using various input methods and store it into a double dimensional array. So we are going to see one by one. So first is a definition of a double dimensional array. A double dimensional array is a structure created in memory to contain the data values by using rows and columns. So it is same like single dimensional array, which is also a structure, but it will have a single row. Here double dimensional array is a structure which has rows and columns. It looks like a table, okay, or you can say matrix as an example of a double dimensional array. It has two subscripts enclosed within two separate pairs of square brackets. So you can see an example. X is a variable, array variable, and then you got first pair of square brackets which represents row, and second pair of square bracket which represents column, and it has subscript values which usually starts from 0, and you can use only positive integer values as subscripts. Now we are going to see the declaration of a double dimensional array. You should have a data type and the array variable and two pairs of square brackets, open and close and unopen and close, without any values, and then equal to operator, that is assignment operator, and then a new operator, and then you got data type again and the subscript values within square bracket. So you can notice here you got 3 and 3. So first one is row, second one is column. So you have 3 rows and 3 columns. So in memory the data are represented in this way. You can see column 0, that is the first column, and second column is named as column 1, and then third one is named as column 2. Same way row, first row has been named as row 1, as row 0, row 1 and row 2. So it's same like your Excel sheet where you have rows and column headings and the cell will be having an address. Same like that you have your column, row and column will be joined, and then it will indicate the first cell, that is first box. So first element will be stored in the first cell here, which has the row and the column subscripts as 0 and 0. So 0, 0. First element will be stored in 0, 0. Second element is stored in 0, 1. And third element is stored in 0, 2. So it will store row wise. After completing the first row, the fourth element will be stored in the second row and the 0, that is the second row and the first column, that is row is 1 and column is 0. So 1, 0. And then next one is fifth element will be stored in 1, 1, and sixth element stored in 1, 2. And then after completing the second row, it goes on to the third row. It will be 2, 0, 2, 1 and 2, 2. So you totally will have 9 elements. So 3 cross 3, 3 into 3, you have 9 elements. Now you are going to see what are the other 2D array declarations available. You have already seen integer. Instead of all the data types, instead of integer, you have to write the data types as float. For float double dimensional array, and for character double dimensional array you have to use char as the data type, and then for string double dimensional array you have to use string as the data type. So other things are same, and the subscript values can be anything. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4. So here you got 3 rows and 4 columns for all these declaration. And next is you are going to see how to get input from the user. Okay, you got 3 methods. You got assignment method, you got BlueJ method, and then you got scanner class method. You are going to discuss one by one. First method is assignment method. So here, as we already discussed in single dimensional array, the only difference here is you got 2 square brackets. You have got data type and array variable ARR and 2 square brackets, and then you can see here curly braces, open and close curly braces, that will be outer. And each and every row will have inner curly braces. So you can see open and close inner curly braces, and the elements for the first row separated by comma. After completing the first row, close the curly braces and put a comma, and then start the second row by opening another curly braces and entering the remaining next 3 values, and close the curly braces, and then again a comma that is separator, and then you got the third row, that is you got another set of curly braces where you will type the third row of values. After that, you are going to close the curly braces and then put semicolon. This is how you are going to assign the values for the double dimensional array. And here you don't have any subscript. The reason is it will define the subscript value, that is length of the array will be defined when according to the input here. Okay, whatever if you increase the values here, the length also will be increased according to the input. So it is an open array. And then if you want to display this array, whatever you define, you have to use double that is nested loop. Okay, the outer loop represents 0 and the inner loop represents the column. So outer loop says I equal to 0, I lesser than 3, because it is 3 cross 3 matrix. That is 3 cross 3 double dimensional array. You are going to use 0 to 2 for the rows, and for column it will be 0 to 2 again. So you know already the function that is working of this nested loop. First element is being stored in 0, 0, that will be displayed here. If the I value ARR of I j, that is 0, 0 is the first element which will be displayed, after which the I j value will be increased. So next time it will be 0, 1, so second element will be displayed, and then third time it will be 0, 2, third element will be displayed, after which the inner loop will get executed, it is terminated. After that, if you want to display it as matrix form, you have to use system.println, otherwise you will get the output in a single row itself. Okay, next time when the outer loop executes, I value becomes 1 and enters the inner loop, it will be 1 and 0, so that is the fourth element, and then 1, 1 and 1, 2. So it goes on like that and prints the all the 9 elements in matrix form. Second, you are going to have assignment statement for character double dimensional array. Only difference here is you have to use single quotes for each element and the remaining is same, and you got a nested loop to display the character array, so and in the matrix form, so you will get the output in matrix form. Same way you are going to also can execute the that is store the strings as string double dimensional array, but only thing is you have to use the string within double quotes and then separated by comma. So here you got 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so you have to write the loops accordingly so that it will display the output in matrix form. Next is you are going to see BlueJ system, that is BlueJ method of inputting the data. Here first example you are going to declare it as an integer array. So you have to type in public static void main int arr and then 2 pairs of square brackets which does not have any subscript values. According to the input, according to the numbers you type, it automatically allots the length. So the remaining steps are same. You don't have separate declaration statement here because you already taken as that is written a declaration statement in void main itself. So you no need of separate declaration statement. Once you get the input, it automatically executes and display the output. So when you compile this and execute it, it will open a method called message box, where you have to do the same process. You have to use the curly braces, to nested curly braces, to enter the rows separately. Okay, 3 rows will be entered, and then click OK, and then you will see the output. Same way you are going to display the character array. Your only difference is you have to use character as the character data type char, and then the variable, array variable. Okay, and inside the method call statement, there is method called message box. You have to write the characters within single quotes separated by comma. So here also you have to enter row wise, and then click OK. It will display the characters. And next is string array. If you declare it as string, then the variable and 2 pairs of square brackets, it will display. It will accept strings. And in the method called message box, you have to type the string within the double quotes and separated by comma, and then click OK, and then you will get the output in this way. And third type is scanner class method. The difference here is you are going to define the array normal declaration type. So you will have a data type integer and then array variable and 2 pairs of square brackets, then equal to, then new operator, then int. Then here you are going to specify the subscript values. So this is fixed. Once you give 3 and 4, you cannot have more than this. That means 3 into 4 is 12. So 12 elements can be stored in this integer array. So how to get the input is you have to use nested loop for input and nested loop for output separately. So input you will have ARR IJ, that is according to the order, or it is row wise you are going to store it. So 0, 0 first value, that is sc.nextInt will take the first token and store it into the element, that is a variable ARR, that will be stored in the first box, and j values increase. Next time it becomes 1, so second time it will be 0, 1, so second element will be stored in 0, 1. So it goes on like that, and then for in output again you have to use a separate set of nested loop and display the output. So here you can see once you execute it, it will ask you for entering the array elements. You can type the elements with space in between, so it will be taken as tokens. So totally you have 12 numbers. If you press any enter in between also, it will wait for you to enter 12 elements, 12 numbers. After inputting all the 12 numbers only, it will display the output. Next, same program, but using you are going to use character array. Other things are same. Okay, for input you have to use chij equal to sc dot next open and close parenthesis, then dot char at 0. So it will take the character one by one and displays it. So here also you can see that you got 2 cross 4 elements, so it will be 8 elements, that is 8 tokens will be accepted, that is character will be accepted and it will be displayed. And finally we have a string double dimensional array, where you are going to input 2 rows and 3 columns, and the input statement has been sc dot next will take the token as string and it will be stored in string double dimensional array, and the output will be displayed. So once you execute the program, it will ask you to enter the data. So 2 into 3 will be 6. So 6 strings has to be written with the space in between. Delimiter will be space. After which you have to press enter and it will display the output. Hope you understood this video. We will meet you in the next video. Till then, thank you.